following D&D campaign is rated TV MAL/SVED. It contains strong language, sexual situations, violence, extreme nerdiness, and dramatic player characters. It is intended only for a mature audience. Viewer discretion is advised.
Man.
Oh, I didn't have my mic on. Welcome, chat. Welcome, players. Sorry we're a little bit late. I forgot to put up something in the overlay. That's my fault. What was that?
Oh, no.
Okay. Yeah. So, happy Monday, guys. And also, welcome to our day one of our fundraising week. We are raising funds to help Dan get a new computer. Dan, the original Mad Bird, who kind of, well, pretty much brought us all together. So, we have a lot of things going on throughout the week. We have some extra programming. We have a board game thing going on Thursday, as well as our regular programs. The board game thing going on Thursday, starting at 10 p.m. Eastern time. Some of us are going to be playing some board games that you can watch. We also, let's see here, Friday, starting at 12 p.m. Eastern time, we have a special new program that should be a weekly thing, a Mad Bird art stream, where myself will be drawing some Mad Bird fan art as well as character illustrations, working on some stuff for the Mad Bird family. So that's exciting. It's on Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern time. And of course, we have our regular programming. And then this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, March the 30th and May the 30th and May the 31st, we have a whole slew of stuff happening. I think that, and I'll throw up, did Victoria get that schedule done, Dan?
I believe so.
Okay, I will download that sometime this evening and throw that up at the end. So hang tight for the end of The Forsaken, where I will throw that up on the screen, let you guys see. But we have board games this weekend, or, on Saturday and Sunday, we have board games, we have Jackbox, we have 2 one-shots planned, one for Saturday and one for Sunday, that our Mad Bird community peeps are going to be in. We also have our regular programs, as well as maybe a truth or a drink Saturday night. We're going to see.
Watch out!
Yeah. So craziness. We also have a lot of donation stuff going on. We have a whole tiered donation thing that I'm going to throw up right now. Oh gosh, I'm going to put that like under all of this. There we go. Yeah, so if you donate $10, $25, $50, we have a whole tier donation thing that if you donate any of these amounts, do they just do it to your PayPal, Dan? How is that working?
Yeah. Put your, excuse me, go to the PayPal you can find in the link below, and the how to support us button. And just make sure that you put at least your screen name if you're comfortable with your actual name. That's fine too, but a screen name so we know who to. Maybe it's something that we can contact to get information out. Because I think there's, you mind if I cover some of the things, Steph? I don't want to.
No, I can read them off if you want to. $10 we get you a random art print or a thank you postcard. $25 you have a 5-pack art print postcards. $50 gets you Mad Bird mug or journal plus 5-pack of art print postcards. $75 gets you either a custom map by Victoria or a full body, full color character illustration by myself. $100 gets you ability to play in a one-shot created and ran by Dan himself. $125 gets you a custom NPC with a character illustration bust to be played in the campaign of your choice, and also includes like a one-on-one with the DM, so that way they know how to portray the NPC that you created. $150 gets you the custom NPC with character illustration, the one-on-one with the DM, as well as a Mad Bird mug or journal. $200 gets you a 1-episode guest spot on either Stormfall or Curious Lament. a full body, full color character illustration, a Madbird t-shirt, and an art print, 18 by 24. So a larger one, not a postcard sized one. $250 gets you a spot in a Madbird commercial that Dan's going to be doing, and he's going to find a way to work around that for people who, with the COVID stuff, and also, of course, we all don't live like down the street from each other, unfortunately. So
tons of ideas to incorporate it. Yep.
Yeah, and also a Madbird t-shirt and a large art print there as well. And so that's all of our tiers. We also have a whole donation system going on as well. Besides that, if we get a completion of a hype train, we'll be doing a giveaway for all the people active in chat. If you donate 500 bits or more, you will get your name thrown into a raffle. That should happen once every stream if we get some 500 bit donations. So you'll get your name thrown into a raffle to be drawn while like towards the end of the stream that you donate that in. Also, for every $600 that we reach in the fundraising goal, we'll be doing a giveaway for whatever program that happens in. Those active in chat will be in the drawing for that for the giveaway. And then also, we're also doing a special retweet. Did you put the tweet up in chat, Dan?
Nope. Right. So they'll need to retweet it with.
Yeah. So you have to you have to retweet it, and you have to put hashtag MadBirdFam. That's MadBird and an FAM. The person with the most retweets by the end of the weekend will get a special prize. So retweet it, share it out. I think that's about it. And as I said, I'll throw that schedule up at the end of the stream. And there we go. That's my spiel. So welcome to The Forsaken. Let me just pull up my notes here. A little summary of what happened last week. The adventurers stood in the aftermath of their actions as they stared out at the sprawling city from the charity house. A male human, Adrian, soon found them, pointing a flintlock at them and demanding answers. And they soon found out that they were at a charity house in the city of Relesk, which is a pretty big city. With a little pointed and confused conversation, the group found out that Adrian knew Regina and that she had helped him establish the orphanage, and that he may have been the last friend to speak to her before the fall of the city. While speaking with him in his office, Kazil noticed something all too familiar to him on Adrian's desk and stays after to question him about it privately. What he got may have been more questions than answers, but he did get a name and a location of someone else to see who could provide the answers to what he is. Meanwhile, Silvra was able to speak to Jocyn for the first time since he was captured a couple of days ago, but unable to spill the full story, she escaped to the outside of the building where one of the house's children found her and offered her some kind words and a hug. Rhaenyra took to studying, only to see a vision of Regina giving him both words of advice and words of warning before disappearing. And all in all, the group had some great conversations with each other, privately revealing secrets and attempting to help each other cope as the rest of the house continued on in preparations for a large breakfast, with more places set at the house's table than there had ever been before. And here we are. All right. So...
Yay, hype train! Woo!
Oh, wow. Great.
Getting it started tonight.
Great. All right, yeah. So if you complete that hype train, then everyone active in chat will be put into a drawing for a giveaway. All right, guys. So all of you, I think Silvra was upstairs with Jocyn, correct? Yes. Everyone else had gathered downstairs where the children were, and Adrian and Lashta were setting the table for breakfast. A pretty large breakfast with vegetables, I mean, it's a large table, and they've spread the food out well, but you can definitely tell that it's not an abundance of food. But they've done well in providing a variety, and they have enough for the children and enough for, a little bit for you guys as well. There's some bacon, there's some sausage, eggs, some apples. I said not a huge variety, but it's a good bit. Some of the children have started to sit down at the table. Adrian and Lashta are still, as well as a couple of the older children, are still placing some plates on the table and some bowls, but it looks like everything is mostly set up. Adrian will kind of, there's a few of you kind of standing in the same room. Adrian will kind of come over. Well, if you're ready to eat, it's ready. We're going to gather at the table. Don't feel obligated, but we have places set for you, so.
Thank you.
God, I'm hungry. I don't even remember yesterday.
Well, please, help yourself.
Thanks. Adrian, was it?
Yes. Gimbal, right?
Yeah, I slept so hard. Anyway, food? Yes? Just anywhere? Sit?
Yes. As you walk into where the table is set, Gimbal, which is kind of in a as I explained last week, which I know that you were absent, but you're in the downstairs area of this charity house. There is a kind of a larger hallway that leads to a couple of large wooden doors that you would look like doors leading to an outside space or to an exit. You also have a couple sitting areas in a slightly larger area too, but you have some rooms kind of going off of that main hallway. One of those is like the kitchen. You have a couple of rooms, small library, but one of them is where the dining table is set. The house isn't lavishly furnished. I mean, it's not extravagantly furnished. The furniture that is there is very old looking, possibly by maybe a century, with a layer of dust in places where people wouldn't have sat or walked on. So it hasn't been like meticulously dusted in a while, but you can tell that, a lot of people kind of come in and sit and walk around in the space. As you walk into the room where the table is set, there's looks like maybe a handmade wreath on the wall. No other decoration. We have a large, sturdy, kind of bulky wooden table that's set with the bowls and the plates, and you see about 6, 7 children starting to sit down and wait patiently for probably, you would assume, Adrian to sit down. But there are some extra chairs and extra place settings.
Don't mind if I do.
I'm gonna wait till the kids get their stuff, and then I'll in case it's rationed out.
Okay.
Gerbil will kind of stay in the back, kind of wait last, and kind of like get a look at everybody, kind of see like how the kids are, how everyone's kind of reacting to him.
Reacting to Gerbil.
Yeah, like.
You notice. Make a perception check, Gerbil.
We're about to prove if I roll a 13, we just better just make it. Just always assume that Gerbil's gonna roll a 13. The perception always and forever.
Be helpful if I brought my dice with me too.
That's 10. It's worse than a 13.
Yes, you you're kind of standing there and looking around. You do notice a couple of the kids kind of glance over at you a few times. They don't seem scared. They just seem curious. But as the rest of you stand there, about 8 kids, 8 children sit down of various ages. Lashta sits down. Adrian kind of steps into the room, and there's a place at the head of the table that's empty, and he kind of goes and stands beside it and puts a hand on the back of the chair and looks at the rest of you. Please, there's plenty of chairs for the rest of you. In fact, one extra since Silvra isn't down here.
Oh, Silvra. Oh, wow.
Would I be done helping with cooking and in there, or am I still like kind of bringing stuff up?
Yeah, you're done.
Yeah, well then I'll probably sit down. I'll find a kid that has a chair next to him and sit by him.
I'll take a seat as well.
I'll kind of wait, and then I'll sit next to Gimbal.
You said that with
Hey,
such
buddy!
enthusiasm.
It's like,
All right. Tegan, are you sitting down?
Yeah, Tegan will do the same thing that Kazeel was doing. He's going to make sure all the children eat and get the food first.
Yeah, all the children are sitting down there. They're starting to get food. Adrian's kind of motioning for everyone as he starts sitting down, motioning for everyone to take a seat, to
banana.
your group.
Thank you.
I will sit then.
Okay. Kazeel, are you sitting down at the table?
Yeah.
All right.
Pull the seat as well.
Rhaenyra's, I think, Ren, you said you were sitting down. Rhaenyra's, are you sitting down at the table? Okay. All right. So you guys sit down. Everyone, a few of the kids have started getting food already, but, and Adrian kind of smiles at them. And as he starts getting some, there are spoons in all of the bowls. Please help yourself. And he starts, grabbing an apple and putting it on his plate and starting to cut it up. There's also some, so there's apples, there's bacon, sausage, eggs. You have hard-boiled eggs, as well as, it seems like they have an abundance of eggs the most. You also have scrambled eggs. There's some, a couple of bowls of butter and cinnamon each. And they're closer to the apples, surprisingly. So you would think that maybe the cinnamon's for the apples. There's also like a bowl of porridge, oatmeal, sort of.
And breakfast vegetables.
and
breakfast vegetables, yes. You always have to make sure the kids have some vegetables in each meal.
I spoon some onto a plate of the kid next to me, and I whisper, "I made these for you."
Oh.
That kid hates you now. You just created the big bad of the campaign.
The child next to you, Ren, she looks maybe about 12 or 13. Elven, long blonde hair, very interesting markings on her face. Looks maybe painted, maybe tattooed. And she's wearing a green dress. She looks to you. Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Everyone make fresh perception checks for me. Except for Silvra, since she's not in the room.
Okay. Oh, I might have to.
Sorry, you said perception, right?
Do you need me to roll for you, Dan?
Yeah, I got a natural 20. No earthly idea what my modifier is, but I'm excited.
I think you're good. You're fine.
Okay.
21.
All right. I would say that anyone with 13 or above, which would be Kazeel, Gimbal, Rhaenyra, and Tegan, you notice one of the children, which is the dark-skinned, black-haired girl that you would have seen upstairs earlier, starts to hold up her hand and you notice one of the apples in the bowl that's maybe a foot from her hand levitates for a moment. And Adrian, a couple of you quickly glance at Adrian. Adrian, Zinar. And she drops it and then quickly reaches for it and gets some more food. And the rest, those who rolled that perception notice that the other children kind of seem suddenly, like that look that kids get when another kid has done something wrong or done something that they shouldn't. And they suddenly get very quiet and very kind of like noticing like what they're doing more. So is the food good? It's Adrian.
Great.
Do you like it?
Great. Yeah, I'm great. Thank you. And I'll drink some water then.
Lashta's over there just kind of shoveling food in her mouth and like looking up occasionally at the other children, not really looking up at the group of you or anyone in particular, just kind of keeping an eye on the children and making sure that they're behaving. So it seems.
So, can you tell us anything about this city that we found ourselves in? Don't we know much about it?
Well, Adrian looks to Lashta, who kind of just those with the higher perception checks would kind of see her look up at him momentarily before going back to her food. It's a good city. They a very jovial city. A lot of stuff going on. I mean, stuff to do, not unrest. There's never unrest in Relesk. You'll find everyone very very happy to see you.
That's good. It feels a little bit strange, perhaps. Well, I don't mean to be too forward, but we've had so much. We've encountered so many folks and things that are duplicitous lately. That can you just be straight with us? And is there anything, some secret regime that keeps everybody happy and takes away negative feelings or something like that?
I mean,
Oh man.
because you'll since you're talking to him directly, and anyone looking at him at Adrian while this conversation is happening will notice that he looks around at the kids.
Oh no.
It's definitely I don't mind telling I don't mind giving you some information, but we can wait until after we eat.
Sure. Understood. Well, I'm glad. I'll look around at the kids. I'm glad that this is such a fine city then. Thank you. What a relief. Good to be safe, isn't
it? This one girl this little girl who's possibly around 8, she has little horns on her head and this kind of whitish blonde hair that goes to her shoulders. Maybe dressed a little bit less colorful than the others, but she's sitting there just shoveling food into her face, and she catches your eye, Kazil. Have you ever been to Relesk before?
No, alas, I haven't. Is there anything fancy you can tell me about it?
Oh,
anything that I should know?
She looks at Adrian, and Adrian kind of smiles and nods, like giving her a go ahead to talk. Oh, there's this there's a shop that has these like things that turn on them. Adrian speaks up. They're gears. The shop has working gears on the outside. It's a big display. Yeah, it's really cool. And if you go inside, they have a bunch of different things that, like birds that sing, but they're not real. And there's all kinds of glass houses around the city that people go into and have a good time.
That's so
There's like it's always filled with like a fog or something. Adrian speaks up. They're smoke and gin houses.
Oh, right. Well, they sound magical, don't they?
Did you meet Gimlet yet?
Gimlet?
Here, boy.
Oh, did you name it Gimlet? Did you
Is that
tell
the
me that you
name?
named it
That's the
Gimlet?
most recent name that Gimble's been using for it.
Oh, that's amazing.
All right. Gosh darn it. Okay, let me make a note of that. Sure.
I just picture like it's been upstairs in that room we entered in, and now you just like down the stairs.
Slides across the
Big
floor.
robo dogs.
Yeah, Silvra, as you're like sitting in there with like trying to get a good rest in with Jocyn, like you hear this something like clamor of metal on wood. It just sounds like a knight rushing down the hallway, and then like just clambering down the steps. In fact, you would see Gimlet like run by, and then like you hear it clamber down the steps. Roll a dexterity check for Gimlet, Andrew.
Okay.
It's like, is he falling down the stairs or is he walking down the stairs?
I mean, you just think about like a Great Dane in reality, like
Yeah.
running around in a
I
house.
love Great
There
Dane.
you go.
And then
Okay.
imagine that being made out of solid metal.
All right, Gimlet makes it down the steps. It's very loud, it's very clumsy, but he makes it down without tumbling or anything.
With every like bang,
Yeah.
Gimble's gonna flinch. Like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm.
So will
Sorry.
Adrian. So will Adrian. And so as everyone's sitting at the table, here comes Gimlet just bounding in. And all the kids, you'll see the girl with the horns kind of like almost get up on her knees in her chair and oh
Construct doggy.
Adrian is just kind of like, oh, that's yeah, I remember seeing that upstairs.
Yeah. Problem?
No problem. I've just never, besides the shop, I've never seen. It's interesting. Did you build it yourself?
Oh, I wish. No, it was a gift.
Oh.
I would love to take credit for it, though. I have lots of prototypes that don't work for something like it, but
Oh well, you should stop at the shop in town, and let them know it's called the Engine, and just talk to them. A really great dwarven guy lives there, or works there with his. I think he lives there too, somewhere underneath. I don't know. With his son and daughter that work with him, and they also have a couple of apprentices that work there as well. So,
cool.
Yeah, you should check it out. There's.
You need any upgrades around the house here?
Oh, no, we don't have really anything mechanical here. We try to keep it as simple as we can.
Oh, sure. I meant, do you want augmentation of certain things in the house? I'm sure I can get materials and help with that.
What kind of augmentations do you mean?
Oh, I don't know. Use your imagination. If we could try to make like stairs that ascend by themselves, or like, do you have a dumbwaiter?
No.
Oh. Well, we could rip out a couple walls and install a shaft and do one of those and have it be like just like an automatic one. You just push a button.
I appreciate the offer, but I kind of like keeping this place as. I don't want to mess with it too much in case we need to leave.
What do you mean by that?
Oh, well, I mean, obviously we're not funded by the city. We are up here because this apartment was gifted to the house, and it's now where we call home. But I don't know what might be the reaction if they find out that we're living up here without, I don't know.
Without.
Well, he'll look around at the others after breakfast.
Oh, come on. Oh, can I at least build a playground, like swing set kind of thing?
I'm sorry, there's nowhere to build it. They have a fair in the city that I sometimes take the children to, but we can't be too seen. So
Why?
look,
I'm
he's
very
already
interested in what
answered
you're
your
talking
question. Lashta speaks up from the other end of the table.
Ah,
Look,
Sensitive topic?
you guys are great and all, but you have come into our house, and Adrian steps in verbally. Lashta, it's fine. They're just curious. They haven't been here.
Very curious. Oh,
She
is
goes
there
back to
anything
her
broken
food.
that needs fixing? Just even wood or clothes?
Look,
I can help with that.
Gimbal, I appreciate that. I appreciate it. I do. And I'll, if you guys stay around the city, I'll think about it and maybe come up with a list for you. But as of right now, I don't have anything.
Is there anything broken in the room that's visible?
No, it is, as I said, it's a very bare room. There's looks like maybe a handcrafted wreath with dried flowers and leaves on the wall. That's it. It's just the big table, the sturdy table with the chairs, and where you're sitting.
There's this gnome that
Table
keeps
have some
talking.
chips
That
in
seems
it.
broken.
Gouges.
I mean, it's
Used.
a used table, so of course there are probably scratches in it. But
Does the
Doesn't
table
count as being
wobble?
broken though, huh?
Does he test the table, see if it wobbles?
I'm just gonna use my hammer here for a second. Don't mind.
He'll just go room to room and just start destroying things and be like, see, there's stuff that you need
I
to
feel like
Adorable.
the kind of guy that would like
Um,
fix a wobbly table by like cutting off the other three legs.
Yes, absolutely.
So there's no like cracks or anything like that.
Oh
huh?
no.
Make an investigation check.
yes.
Ultimately,
This
we
is
would
very
hold
important to me.
half of the last session if he was there.
I know he has to get it all in
As
now.
you
That's
lean
right.
against the edge of the table, Gimbal, talking to Adrian, you do notice that that side of the table, or that corner of the table, kind of wobbles a bit. So maybe like the leg is off.
Oh. Wobble in the table? Can I start with that?
It's an old table.
And a couple of mechanical spiders will just jump down and
Oh,
run up the table and
Well,
fix it. That's like the equivalent of me casting mending.
nice.
Two of the younger children kind of stand up on their chairs, and one of them is and both of them kind of squeal.
Yeah.
What's that? What?
They're magically powered machines like Robo-Doggy. Like Gimlet.
Adrian stands up. It's okay. It's all right. Sit back down. Finish your food. It's fine.
No more rocking.
And he looks to you, Gimbal, like kind of with a slightly annoyed expression, but trying to be kind.
No more rocking.
I appreciate it. Thank you. And he'll sit back down. So whenever, you guys planning on heading out in the city today?
I do. I've worked with some similar places before where they often operate on the generosity of others. Is there? Do you have any day-to-day needs that perhaps I can pick up in town and bring back?
Oh man. We just not really. I mean, I appreciate it. But we make it out.
Sure.
Me and Lasha take turns. Some of the older children go out and get some things. But as I said, if I think of anything, and if you guys are still around, if you're still in town and need a place to stay tonight, I mean, there are some swanky places in town, of course, if you know, want to stay there and experience the city a bit, you know, one-on-one. But you're always welcome to crash on the floors here. So
I give it a big robo dog I can use to bring things back.
Is our
don't have
Can you-
anything that I need.
Okay.
Can you point me in the direction of that tinkering house?
Oh, yeah, if you we have a lot of tourists in the city. I haven't grabbed and all of a sudden one of the children get up from the table. It's a small girl with looks to be maybe about 5, kind of bounces out from the table. I'll get it. And she runs out with her like blonde hair kind of bouncing behind her. She it's like maybe a couple of minutes before she kind of bounds back into the room with a map of the city.
Oh, you're fast.
Which
Don't
I
even know
will
if I've ever
share
seen someone run
out
so fast.
That map that I did last week to you guys again.
Ooh, impressive. The cheer on with her speed.
Oh, thank you.
Right?
And as you're thanking her, Kazil, you look into her eyes. You feel very calm. Yeah. Thank you, Ellie.
Visibly relaxed because internally, because he's tightly wound right now. Oh.
Adrian will kind of look to you, Kazil. You feeling okay?
A little bit better now. Hey, there's a lot going on. I didn't realize just how much was tensed up with everything going on.
Ellie has a very calming presence.
Aye. Well, thank you, Ellie. I appreciate it.
She really does. The girl that's sitting beside Ren speaks up.
Oh. I just asked. Did you see how fast she ran? Incredible.
All of the children here are very special in their own ways.
Oh, I see. Right. Okay. Right. It all kind of clicks into place.
Magical
Because well, that's great. Well,
a few of the children start finishing up their food. I mean, you guys notice a variety here. There's kind of a younger boy and a teenage boy who are kind of, well, young teenage, probably like 13 or 14, who are kind of sticking close to each other, and they look similar. One of the boys with light skin and looks human with dark curly hair. Where is Mags, Ren?
Probably in the corner of the room somewhere, sitting down.
Make a perception check, Ren.
For Mags or for myself?
For yourself.
Okay. 18.
You notice that this boy has not taken his eyes off of the wolf as he's eating. He's kind of looking at, I mean, is Mags in like a far corner of the room?
I guess how big is this room?
I mean, it's big enough for a large table and like, 14 more people to be sitting around it. So, I mean, the table's tight in the room, but yeah.
The way I envisioned it probably would be whatever chair I'm sitting in, whatever's the closest corner to me.
Okay.
She's just kind of calmly laying there.
Okay. So yeah, so this boy is looking in your direction, but he's not looking at you. He's looking past you. And he's been doing that this entire time, like as he's like.
Do you like wolves? Are you scared of wolves? Which way are you feeling there?
No, I'm not scared of her. I used to have one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
When was that? How old does this kid look?
He looks maybe about 12.
Okay.
A few years ago, and you'll notice he kind of looks to Adrian and looks back at the wolf.
What was your wolf's name?
Morningstar.
What happened to her?
My folks made me get rid of her.
Sorry. I always wanted a wolf. Once I started kind of dreaming about what it would be to adventure and live in the woods, and I remember just dreaming of. I have my friend Pip, who's been my friend and Pip will jump up my shoulder. She's been my friend since I was a little kid, but I always wanted a wolf. And that's Mags. She actually we're new friends. I've only had her for a day, however long it's been.
You'll feel a slight kind of your shoulder kind of feel like something's like on the shoulder where Pip is. If you look over, it's one of the older children, but she has reddish brown hair, is wearing a green and pink dress, is kind of petting it, just suddenly standing beside of you.
I was gonna say, not the one next to me, like they got up and came to me.
This is it's another one that got up from the table and is petting the squirrel.
I'll kind of bounce my shoulder, and Pip will like run up onto her shoulder.
Oh my goodness! Where did you get it?
A long time ago, when I was a little kid, my dad was yelling at me for being out in the woods too much, and I got really frustrated and ran out and was crying, and she came to me, and she's stuck around me ever since.
It's precious. She's going to try to pick it up. Does Pip allow her to pick it up?
Sure.
I'm going to pick it up and just kind of look at it.
And Pip nods her face up. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, God. Mass murder.
I don't think you can take that back.
And she'll sit it back on your lap. I mean, on your shoulder, Ren.
Roll for initiative.
Adrian's going to laugh. You better watch. She likes to cut things open.
Oh.
Frogs. Frogs, and I would never. This one's cute, and I can't study it because it's just too cute. I love it. And she's going to go back and sit down.
I'll look back at the boy who was looking at Mags and say, if you want, you can go and pet her and spend some time with her.
Oh.
And I'll look at Adrian and say, if that's okay.
Oh, yeah, as long as he's safe doing so, I don't care.
You should be.
So the boy gets up, and I would say with your high perception check and your attentive eye, as he goes over to Mags, he kneels down and just kind of gently like sticks his hand out. You can tell that he has experience dealing with at least dogs, and you know the Mags kind of sniffs the hand, rubs its snout against his hand, and you know he starts petting Mags, and you can hear him say, "My name is Evan. You're a good one." Oh, as he pets the wolf. We will. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Gerbil.
Oh, sorry. I'm gonna say to Adrian, be frank with us. Is our presence here going to cause you all trouble?
No, just don't mention us to anyone out in the city, and we'll be fine.
Okay.
I mean, this is a pretty tall building, so they're not... I mean, not tall, but I mean, there's a lot of people that live in this building, so you know, going out and going in isn't going to erase suspicion unless, you know, you tell people where you're going.
course. Um, one other question.
Mhm.
I've heard of burlesque once before. Is there by chance a peculiar field of sunflowers around here?
He looks around at the table at like the children, and you don't hear anyone pipe up. I mean, I haven't came across any. At least not. I mean, I don't travel too far out the city unless I absolutely have to. Certainly not looking for flowers. There is a flower shop in town though. Gatsby's. You might want to try there.
Of course. Thank you.
They might, they go around collecting flowers from around the immediate area, I would suppose. So they might know something. I think that's the name, right? And he kind of looks around, and anyone that's kind of paying attention and looks around too knows that Lashta's not at the table anymore.
Did any of us notice when Lashta got up?
No.
She's under the desk.
Did someone touch her on the shoulder? Did anyone see?
Yeah, that girl Red gave vegetables to. She's taking us out one by one now.
At this moment, you guys see a very familiar face kind of step into the room. It's Ingot. She walks into the room like a ghost, just very not really looking at anyone, just kind of walks into the room and sits down at an empty chair now that Lashta's not there. Adrian immediately stands to his feet, not alarmed, but just almost as if acknowledging her presence. Do you need something to eat? We can make you a... No, I'm fine. And she just sits and stares out towards the table, but not at anyone in particular. And she looks very pale.
Vampire.
And again, Ingot, for those who don't remember, is the drow woman with the short cropped hair that I think it was Auburn, that you brought back from Bairn, who was with Greelick.
And the one where we realized Gerbil has terrible grief counseling.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, Gerbil tried to talk to her upstairs, or said some words. Yeah.
I started out by saying, rough day, huh?
Yeah.
Crazy thing about that city.
So you can cross off therapist on your list.
Nice.
And we'll go up to Silvra. Did you say that you were laying down on like an opposite couch in the room, Silvra? Or are you laying beside Jocyn on the floor?
I'm actually laying beside him on the floor or on the couch.
Okay.
I think I said couch. If there's no room on the floor.
Yeah, no, I mean it's not a huge room, but it's about a medium-sized room. There are a couple of bookshelves. There's the couch that Jocyn's laying is just kind of right inside the door. There's another couch. It's a little dusty across the room against the other wall, the opposite wall. But you could lay on there. There's also the floor is wood, but it has some large rugs laid down. So there's a rug.
I'll just be on the floor then.
Okay.
It's fine.
You hear some creaking of wood as if someone walking on the planks. And they get a little bit louder, and especially laying on the floor, you would hear it kind of in your ear a bit more. And something kind of like the light shifts as you have your eyes closed. And you kind of sense someone standing over you. You open your eyes. It's Lashta. She has a plate. You should eat something.
Thank you. And she'll sit up and extend her hands out to take the plate. Is there another one for Jocyn?
Oh yeah, I can bring one up. But here, take this. And she also has a glass of water that she sits on the floor beside you.
Oh, thank you so much. How has everything been today? Sorry, I'm a little frazzled.
It's fine. I think the question should be, how's everything been for you? You're the one that came through a portal from a city that apparently fell from the sky. She kind of gives this weird smile, trying to be like, crack a joke, but not, not believing her own joke.
It's like those jokes with like truth to them.
Yeah.
Silver's gonna chuckle a little bit. Yeah.
Is he okay? She kind
I
of
think
nods her
so.
head towards Jocyn.
I think he is. He's been sleeping. I don't really know what to do with myself. I didn't have the heart to tell him what had happened. So I've just been sitting here, just kind of entertaining myself, and everybody went to breakfast, and I really do appreciate you being here. Oh, and sorry for intruding. I just don't know what to say today. It's still. What do you do for a living?
I help out here. Look, it was a surprise, today. It wasn't how I expected to spend my morning, but
I'll just have to say same.
For what it's worth, I'm glad that you guys didn't die along with everyone else.
May I ask, why is that?
Oh, you seem like decent people. Decent people shouldn't die before they're supposed to.
It's vaguely ominous.
Start having
Or they're supposed to.
tears in her eyes.
Before I get to the
Time's like now. Shake, shake.
Oh my gosh.
Can't move my hands.
She's gonna start
I sharpened my knife.
shoveling food in her mouth and go, man, this is good. Any particular reason why nobody should know that you guys are here? Is this some like secret place of like you just take care of kids and you just don't tell anybody about it?
We don't want them to worry about us. Because if they worry about us, that means that we would probably have to leave the city.
Why would they worry about you? Even if they knew you. Or of you, I guess I should say.
The kids weren't wanted. They were a reminder of something sad. So they were sent out on the street. And we took them in.
That's so sad. Why would nobody want their kid?
Because they showed arcane abilities.
Wait, like people are afraid to have mages?
We have mages in town. There are mages that live here. But to have a mage in these times is... You can tell that she's choosing her words wisely.
Yeah.
Is unsettling for people. And people that live in Relask don't do unsettling. They like things to be tied up in a bow. Please.
Silver's gonna have a flash of red cross over her eyes for a split second.
Let me get the other plate for you.
Thank you.
And Lashta, which was sitting, kind of kneeling on the floor next to you, stands to her feet and kind of walks out with just a slight glance over her shoulder towards you as she does so.
You okay?
Oh, she's already gone. It was just like a quick like
okay, like
glance.
2 seconds.
Like yeah.
Okay.
You can hear kind of, the creaking of someone descending the stairs in this house.
So Silvra is just gonna finish her food and chug down her water. I want to see if Jocyn is awake.
He is. He barely has his eyes open, but he is awake. Yes.
You little snake! You were eavesdropping, weren't you?
Can you blame me?
Oh. No.
Is the food at least good?
It's decent.
Is it as dusty as the rest of the house?
Silver's just gonna lose it on the floor.
I mean, it's a valid question. There's a lot of dust here. My allergies.
I mean,
are killing
I don't
me.
understand why they have so many kids and it's so freaking dusty. That is a good point, but no, it's not as dusty as the house.
I guess you gotta tell kids to dust, right? If you don't tell them to dust, they're not going to dust anything.
It is true. I wonder if they just don't use this part of it, like, all the time. I had to take 6 freaking flights of stairs to go outside. 6.
No, they must be high up in the building then. This must be quite a building.
Who takes 6 flights of stairs to go outside?
Well,
I
I'm
do,
guessing
because
they're
I was
not.
the idiot.
I'm guessing they're not running outside. What did you go out to visit the city?
No. No.
Well, you guys should enjoy yourselves. I've heard it's a big, fun city.
Never been here before?
When I was younger, but not for a while.
Hometown?
Oh no, not a hometown. No, we were just. I came here back in my college days a lot. Haven't for the past maybe 5 years.
How are you feeling?
Chest still hurts a bit, but I'm feeling better. Food will be good. She's bringing some, right? I told her to bring some food, right?
Obviously.
Good. So I keep you around. Joking.
You're kind of grumpy.
I know. You would be too if you almost. Yeah. Well, that was yesterday. This is this morning.
I don't blame you at all. I'd be grumpy too. When you get better, do you mind if I ask you some questions? For what happened between the last time you and I talked and all the stuff went down? I don't want to burden you right now because it's a lot. Like it's.
I can tell you some things now if you want to hear them now.
Yeah. Okay. And she's gonna sit crisscross applesauce and like bring her legs together.
I
kind of like one of the little kids, just like waiting for story time.
Well, at the college, which was the last time you spoke to me, they, of course, Rinka saw right through your note, and he kind of like glances over at you and like gives you like a one eye kind of like raised eyebrow. Saw right through your note, and
did so good on it too.
Came to, of course, you arrest me, which is when I messaged you, and then let's say she kept me in a cell for a bit, and then had a couple guards take the sending stone off of me, which I don't know what she did with. You should probably be aware that Rinka has this other sending stone to that set. You remember she threw it back at you, Silvra.
That's what I was just thinking.
Yeah.
I wanted to. Okay. Oh, I have it.
Oh, she gave it to you, did she?
Yeah. What is that? Is it good or bad?
No, I mean, I didn't know what she was going to do with it. I didn't know if she was going to use it to make you think that I was dead, or I didn't know. I didn't know. So they took me to a transportation circle. Well, they took me to Bairn first. I think there was a bit of confusion, and took me to a transportation circle at the guardhouse past Bairn and transported me up to the city. And they took me directly down to the cell. I was in the cell for a couple of days, and saw a couple of shifts of people who I'd shared a cell with go be taken upstairs, and never saw them again. And then I was taken upstairs, and I figured no one would ever see me again. But here we are.
Did you ever see Regina?
I thought I saw her maybe in passing as they were bringing me in, but I think that she was long gone by the time that they took me upstairs.
So you said they do it in shifts. So you said you were in the cell for 2 days.
Yeah.
So it's like every 2 days they go through mages?
Yeah, it was about that. I mean, at least they would trade some out, because they had to keep mages constantly who were alive on the crystals. So they would come and get one, maybe 12 hours later would come and get another one, and be bringing more in as they did so, that they caught from packs and different other places.
Wait, so they're also hunting the packs for mages?
There were a couple people in the cells with me from the pact, yes. Or from a pact. Whatever they call them, district, sect, I don't know.
I have a question, but I gotta go. So, did you ever see a drow woman named Aqua at all? Or anybody called Aqua?
Oh.
You're not even here. Shut up.
I know.
No,
I didn't interrupt you.
No, I don't know an Aqua.
Kazil's just standing awkwardly in the corner laughing.
Under the bed. I'm watching.
Just stand up and sit down on the couch however I can. I don't know how wide the couch is, but she'll try to
Yeah, I mean, it's sitting down, like there's enough room for like another person on either side of you.
I think we may have killed an entire city.
You think? I'm sorry. Dan is like doing something.
I'm sorry.
Stop taking a piss on stream, Dan.
I was going to say, it sounds like I'm making an espresso.
No, that's the sound of a Keurig. That's a Keurig.
That is a Keurig, yeah. Okay, I'll mute before I stir, because I know that bothers you. No, I won't.
Get it together, man. Get it together.
Parker Dragon.
It's just your own fundraiser you're ruining.
Honestly,
Oh, snap.
Oh, that's so harsh.
So what did you say, Silvra, to Jocyn?
I think we may have and she'll whisper this. I think we may have accidentally killed an entire city without meaning to when we got you guys.
I'm trying to remember who we talked to. Was it Kazeel?
Tegan.
Tegan.
Tegan the traitor.
Tegan told me.
What?
After you left the room, and I could tell you were upset by it, so I asked him to tell me, and he told me what had happened.
I'm sorry.
What else was there to do? How could you have known?
It's not just that. It's the thought of if I had known, I would have left you. But does that make me a bad person?
Silver, make a perception check for me.
The first time it literally rolled like on a point, like
Yeah.
It was weird. Okay, so I got 19 plus 5.
Okay. You would be able to tell that he looks. You see kind of, even in kind of the, I mean, this room isn't extremely lit. It's mostly just there's a window kind of at the end of the room that kind of sends in most of the light, but there's a small lamp that's on, an oil lamp. You see a kind of a slight pained look on his face, but it quickly changes to one of sincerity. I think we all don't know how we'll respond to things until we're actually in that moment. So if that would have been how you would have survived, or another way for you to survive, and then I would want that for you. I thought I was dead until you got me out. And if that would have been the last thing that would have happened, and if you guys would have left, then at least I wasn't died strapped to crystals, having my life drained from me.
Can I roll to see if he's sincere?
Yeah, you can roll an insight check, sure.
I'm gonna keep this dice forever. I rolled an 18 plus 3.
Nice. He is being sincere.
Oh, well, I don't know what to say.
It's fine. You don't have to be embarrassed about not knowing what to say. It's a lot, I know. Kind of making myself a little sick to my stomach. Or I could just be hungry. And at that moment, Lashta comes in with a plate of food.
Like, am I making you sick to your stomach?
Comes in with a plate of food and just kind of stops as she comes in, since you've like moved positions, and Jocyn's kind of has his head a little like kind of propped up on the arm of the couch. Oh, he breathes. here you go. And she'll take the plate over and kind of looking at you and looking back at him and kind of sits the plate down kind of awkwardly on his chest. And kind of sits the glass of water beside the couch. I forgot the silverware. I hope you don't mind. I'll leave you to it. I'll leave you. And she'll head out of the room.
Wait, I think I still have some silverware on my plate. Do I?
Did you take it with you, or did you sit it down on the floor?
Oh, I set it down before I.
Okay, yeah. There's still stuff on there.
Okay, then I'll go and get that silverware, and I hope you don't mind. I mean, she's trying so hard to keep a straight face, but she just can't.
Sure.
I mean, we've already been inside each other, so it's not gonna matter with cooties and all.
He chuckles a bit, and then like it kind of, he said his chest was kind of hurt, you know.
Oh, let me get that plate off your chest. Here,
it's fine. I can get my food this way.
Can you feed yourself?
I just probably shouldn't laugh.
I'll give him a little side poke.
Oh, stop. And he'll
okay.
get some bacon off of his plate and like nibble on it.
Well, I'll leave you be. I'm gonna go to where everybody else is at and stop it. Because I was role playing, okay. And I'm gonna go check on my friends and see what they're up to and find some sweet rolls. Okay?
Bring me back one.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. And she's gonna kind of skip out the room.
You hear him kind of chuckle as you leave. All right. Heading back downstairs to everyone else. Is there anything that you guys want to do or to roleplay before we finish up breakfast? About half the kids have finished up and have kind of either started helping clear their own plates or have, a couple of the younger ones have started like chasing each other through the house. So you hear some like giggling from the hallway and out in the like sitting area. Adrian is helping kind of clean up what the children who have already left didn't clean up, because there's always, they just take their plates. There's always like silverware or some juice on the table. So he's kind of doing that since Lashta's been, shuttling food back and forth.
I guess I don't really have anything during breakfast, but
Okay.
I would like to ask Ren or Arius if they'd like to go through the town with me.
Sure. Yeah.
Well, that's great. If you have anything in mind you'd like to take a look at, we can certainly stop. But I think a nice walk would do us some good, and there's a few things I'd like to see.
I have nothing I need, but sure.
Where are you asking this at, Kazil? Are you asking it right
At
there in the
table.
sitting room at the table?
Mm-hmm.
Ingrid's still there sitting. Very quiet.
Yeah.
Hasn't said a word since she said that she was fine and hasn't looked at anyone. Just looking ahead.
Would you like to go? Excuse me. Would you like to go with us, Ingrid? I know that it's a new city and all, but perhaps just being out and about will help us all.
Her head slowly turns towards you, Kazil. Almost like her head turns and then her eyes turn at you, towards you.
Okay.
I appreciate the offer, but sure.
Oh, that's great. Great, good. Have you been here before, perhaps?
No,
Oh,
I haven't the pleasure. Really,
well,
cat? But I had not.
Oh. There's certainly a lot that we have to process, and I'm sure you probably don't want to hear any more condolences, but you certainly have mine. And well, let's take a fresh walk and see if we can manage ourselves at least for today. I'm sure there's a lot in all of our minds.
She'll nod and just kind of slowly stand from the table and walk out to the main hallway. Anyone else want to do anything as breakfast is finishing up?
We're getting ready to go to town, right?
Everyone gets up and is like, I am.
Cool. Lead the way, fuzzball.
And just then, Silvra comes downstairs and enters the dining room.
Hi, what are you guys doing?
We're
Leaving.
We're leaving.
Oh,
We're going to town. Come, shop,
damn.
buy shit.
Ooh, buy shit? Okay. That sounds good to me, bestie.
I forget, have we had a rest?
Nope.
No,
You have not.
we just
Oh,
pulled
yeah,
an
this is the
all-nighter and
group
we're
that
rolling.
really,
with
really
this.
sucks at
It's
resting.
overrated.
We just collect all the side quests and do all of them on
Hey.
no sleep.
I mean, I'm not going to stay up long. I just want to check out that. I just need to check something out.
Well,
Oh, go ahead,
oh, sorry.
Silvra.
Go ahead. Nope, go ahead.
Tegan, what are you doing?
I'm going to go shopping because I just want to pick up
Okay.
a few things. So that's about it.
So we'll say most of you are kind of in this dining
Tegan's
room
been
area.
outside the entire time.
Most of
Went
you are
shopping,
in this,
came back.
Most of you are in this dining room. Most of the kids have left. There's like an older one that is still helping to clean up. Lashta kind of comes into the room, and it's kind of more like the kitchen is their kitchen is beside this room. Like there's a wall between the kitchen and the dining room, but there's a door that kind of goes in between the two. So they're going kind of back and forth, but less now as most of the table is now cleaned up. Adrian kind of steps into the room with a dish towel, kind of like drying his hands. And kind of slings it over his shoulder. And you'll notice he kind of leans in a way to kind of look out the door going into the main hallway. Heading out to go to the city, huh?
He's a nosy little fucker, isn't
Just
he?
Yes.
Okay.
Just
I'll keep an eye on your people upstairs. Don't worry about them.
Okay.
Yeah. Kazil, right? You had some. And his voice kind of lowers a bit. You had some concerns.
Right. And I'll sort of resheathe my sword.
Lashta, sorry, could you, Lashta kind of peeks her head out. Could you kind of keep the kids, she'll kind of look at all of you and then give a nod to him, and then duck back into the room. And you see her kind of walking out into the main hallway towards where the kids are, mostly in the sitting area. So I'm sorry, it's been a morning. What were your concerns again?
Well, just that it sounded way too good to be true that the entire town is full of people that are happy all the time, and there's never any trouble. So, just looking to know if there are any real dangers or concerns or anything here in the city that we should keep our eyes out for as we travel through.
People here are, I guess a good example to give you would be the children. I think a couple of you saw, but all of them have arcanic abilities. When they started showing that, I mean, not all of them were at birth. Some of them were when they were, 10, 8. Or if in Lashta's case, 16. You don't have to be worried about using magic in the city. I know that you guys are coming from Bairn and Fairweather, but as long as you don't hurt people. But
let's go over at Silvra.
There's a concern with no one in Rilesk likes to be reminded of unhappiness or hard times. So in this time, it's a little hard, a little more difficult to have children who are arcanically blessed.
I see.
There's a little more stipulations that go along with that in these times. So parents, rather than dealing with that, they find a way to get it out of the city and out of their lives.
I'm sorry, that's just fucked up. Sorry.
No, I agree. That's why I took them in. So.
And the gods bless you for that, because that. Oh, by the way, do you have any sweet rolls?
Oh, we don't. But there's a wonderful bakery in town.
Oh, we gotta go.
Yes.
Bakery in every town in Osborne.
That's kind of the mindset of everyone in the city. Other than myself, and I'm sure that there are others, a few of us, but just don't give them a reason to be concerned about you, and they will treat you well.
Right, so don't bring up anything sad or anything like that. Keep the blinders on. Right, well, that will be no problem, I'm sure. And I'll kind of look around at all of us, knowing we're all struggling with.
Wait, so it's like they don't want to remember?
There's a lot going on in the world,
Kazoo.
and people check their problems at the gate. That's what's expected, at least.
Right. Well, thank you for the warning, letting us know before we head out there.
Oh, and if I don't know how long you guys plan on, of course, as I said, you're welcome to stay here. How long you're planning on staying out to look at the city, but there's a at noon, they have a gin and tea hour, so everything will be, most shops will be closed at noon.
Right.
The smoke rooms will fill up around that time.
Right.
And
right.
at nighttime, around dusk, and with this, he kind of like, there's like an extra plate on the table, and he kind of picks it up and kind of turns, starts towards the kitchen. Just be cautious of the well, not cautious. He stops. Let me change my words. Don't be surprised when you see people going through the streets with candles at dusk. And he'll kind of take the plate into the kitchen.
Wait, but doesn't that negate the entire purpose of not wanting to remember?
Oh, it's not for, he calls from the kitchen. It's not for that. It's for the Great One.
Oh, Silvra.
Oh, as in like the
Wait, it's almost like what that city
Wish I had my
that-
notes.
place with the
Yeah.
queen.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
it's a
pregnant
common theme, isn't
queen.
it?
The
Heartbreaker, the
it starts with an O.
Osbergen.
That's the country.
That's the
Bornheim.
continent.
Oh yeah.
Bornheim.
Bornheim.
Boromir is
Yeah.
not.
Same great one.
So what is Gimbal saying to Adrian?
The city
Is this the same great one as Bornheim?
Adrian kind of comes to the doorway and is kind of drying his hands off again. I've never been to Bornheim.
Okay. Do you worship the Great One?
Not really.
Do they sacrifice their own
Kimball,
citizens here?
Kimball, let's go shop.
Sacrifice? No, they don't sacrifice. They just, well, I mean, they don't sacrifice. They sacrifice gold.
I'm
There's
gonna
a,
knock on Gimbal.
Tithe, donation, kind of
There's
thing.
yeah, you won't miss it. There's a thing that opens up down in this. There's a thing that opens up in the city. Everyone goes to it, leaves their candles there at the gate, and also a piece of gold in the basket. And by doing that, they think that it takes care of the city. Which, I mean, it's doing well, so who am I to judge?
That's fine.
Wait, who's getting money?
All right, well, I got to get to some kids and to some classes.
Sure.
So,
All right, let's get
if
going.
you need
Thank you.
anything, you know where I'm at.
Great.
Let's go,
Tom.
Bestie.
All right, so you guys, Silvra, since she knows the way out, starts heading towards those double wooden doors, and that's where we'll take our bio break for the
Nice.
evening.
Big episode.
So for those in chat and who haven't been with us before, we take a 8 to 10 minute bio break to refill our water, blah, blah, blah. So hang tight and we will be right back as I get the, we'll be right back to up and going.
Okay.
Okay.
Yay.
Mike's hot.
Nice.
Mike.
Yeah, that's right.
Actually, I muted those. I muted them for a second, Dan. So did we have? I know we had a hype train going earlier. Did that complete or no? Okay. All right. Cool beans. Cool beans. Cool beans. Well, that's awesome. Wow. First time. First thing. Well, there's 44 messages from you guys. Get out. Get out of my life. Okay. I just answered. Wait, are you explaining this to the people? Because I have you muted. I can okay. No, this is from Melissa. Yeah. So it's from Melissa's collection. Oh yeah, no, that's fine. No, that's fine. That's fine. Give me un momento, por favor. And oh no, that's not what I wanted to do. Get out, get out, get out, get out, get out, get out. All right, so docs, fundraiser. Okay. Oh yeah. So digital character sketch. So yeah, I'll type it out in Discord for you, Dan. Right. I love Cracker Barrel. It's good food and it's super cheap. It's good. Character size, one best size digital character. Yeah, no, it's just fun. It's just fun. All right, I put it in there. It's one bust size digital character illustration. Okay, unmuting now. You're live.
All right, hello, fine folks of chat. I am currently putting together our winner from the chicken dinner. Just kidding. From the Choo Choo Hype Train. Yes, excellent. So we're doing that here during our break. We will be doing the raffle, the 500 plus cheer bits. Raffle at the end with a different prize. The Hype Train reward is a beautiful set of dice from Melissa, and that is what we're going to be doing right now. At the end of the stream, for anyone that's cheering 500 bits or more, you get a raffle ticket for every 500 that you cheer, and that's going to be again at the end of the stream. The reward for that one is one bust-sized digital character illustration. Nice that. So if you want to be in that drawing, make it happen, make it rain bits. And thank you so much to everyone that did in fact make it rain bits and did all the wonderful cheering for the Hype Train, and that has already entered into the raffle. Some folks numerous times over. We're very much looking forward to all these wonderful things, and super thankful. All right, I'm just going to skippity-scope my notes here, not my notes, my Twitter on the backside, so that I can see who has been in chat. Clicking buttons, doot. Yes, okay. Oof. All right. So many folks.
And just to repeat again, because I had the music turned up for the Be Right Back thing, and I turned it down just now. Just repeat again that this is for the Hype Train completion, correct, Dan?
Correct.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. All right. And this is for everyone that's been active in chat for completing that Hype Train. Let's see. Okay. All right. And I can't do it in chat, which is a bit of a bummer, but that's okay because I can still do it here in the back end. And show me a winner. Boop. Okay. Old School RPG is the winner. of the this beautiful dice set from Melissa.
Yes.
Melissa.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for doing that, Melissa. Yay! It should be. That's a separate note. My brain is off today. I'm unable to parse things out. Sorry. Yeah, congrats to Old School RPG for winning the again the beautiful dice set donated by Melissa. And so, Old School, if you would kindly send me a message, you can either send me a direct message up here. You can get at me. Let me jump back in the chat on Twitter. Is another great way, or Discord. Daniel Awesomeface on Discord. I am at D_Awesomeface on Twitter. Let me just put my little social thing in here. That probably has it. I guess we'll see. Okay, here we go. So that's my Twitter in there at least. And that way, I can get your details private to find out where you'd like this ship to, and everything else. We will get you set up and rolling. Yeah. And again, for everyone that has or does throughout the rest of the stream donate 500 bits, you get entered. You get one raffle ticket for every 500 bits you cheer. And at the end of the stream, we will be having the winner for that. And that particular prize, again, is one bust-sized digital character illustration done by our own staff. So, woohoo! All the fun and all of the donations here are going. The fundraising is going to get things back on track with. As my computer exploded in a small nuclear fashion, to get that up and running so that we can continue our stream, add some new campaigns and some other stuff. Oh, they're adorable. Yeah, but see who's going to get booted out. You can't. They just automatically pick it for you. And it'll be like, oh, let me talk to this person. Oh, they said this person might want to leave. So if it's someone we care, if it's the lion, boot that stupid a-hole lion. Everybody else can stay. Animal Crossing.
Boot those lions. They don't
Yeah.
deserve to be out there.
It's like this total jerk lion that somehow just moved into the island without.
Just so you know, our cameras are live.
I bet it was Rory.
I
I
forgot.
want to
to
laugh
put
at
the
the
thing on
island.
blue.
I don't have an
Yeah, it's
island.
Rory. Yeah.
Our
He's a total
places.
tool bag.
The one lion
him.
Animal Crossing character I know.
So you get a
Nice.
14-piece dice set, by the way, for
Oh,
my personal
damn.
collection.
Nice, Melissa. Awesome. It's so
I
great.
don't know if you can see it.
That's lovely. What is it? Tiger's eye?
No,
Ooh.
unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
It's reddish.
Really
Okay.
For Silvra.
Wow.
I like it.
And
That
yeah.
one's
Aww.
that one's like that's big. Like that would hurt somebody if you
Oh
throw
yeah,
that.
this one's the 14
Nice.
piece set has like
Great
the
for
regular,
bowling.
and then it's got the big one. It's got a mini D20 and it's got a D2.
Oh.
And yeah.
Oh, wow.
D2.
Nice. The
A D2
hookup.
isn't a D2 just a coin?
Right? Yeah, that's true. Yeah. One, flip, two.
But it's
That's
fancy.
so cool. Yeah, no kidding.
I mean, like,
Ah,
I never have a
I love
yeah,
it.
exactly.
Oh.
It matches.
Yes.
It matches everything
Nice.
else.
Okay.
Wow.
Oh, I love
Get it
it.
together, Reedy. Get it together.
My bad. My bad.
Awesome. Oh, I really appreciate you all so much. Thank you so very much for.
I'm just
No
super
problem.
excited that we got a
towards
hype
us,
train completion like within the
I
first
know,
like half
right?
hour.
It's
Yeah.
like, wow.
Right? That's amazing.
And I've
I
got
wonder
plenty
who
of
the
dice to give
conductor
away
is.
too. So.
Nice. Awesome.
All right.
So
Well, we
cool.
are all
Oh, Danny's our conductor, and Vic.
nice.
We've got two. Oh.
We are all back and ready.
Okay, sorry. Yes.
It's
here we
okay.
go.
It's all right. It's exciting times, and congrats, Old School RPG. Super exciting. Okay, so let's get back to it, shall we? Do I have everything? Yeah. Okay, I'm good. You guys are on. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. So make sure everything's good. All right. So we left off with you guys heading out into the city of Relesque. So Silvra guides you down the 6 flights of stairs. And out the double doors that lead out into the fresh air that honestly most of you except Silvra haven't had in a bit, because before this you were in the Undercity of Bern, and it was smelly and smoky, and you were there for a bit, and then you got here into the dusty charity house.
Smell like children.
So yeah, you guys can take a nice deep breath. This
is great.
I mean, it doesn't, it smells like, like a city, but it's not bad. You can tell that people live here, but it's not bad smelling. As you step out, I believe, let me see, I'm trying to think of where, and let me see if I can do this right. I always get like, I want to try to like maybe circle where you are. You guys, I think I have you stepping out around.
Did you put the map up? Because I don't see it.
Oh, yeah, I shared it out. I'll share it out again. Oh, no, I guess I didn't. I thought I did. Maybe I put preload image, probably. Sorry.
Yeah.
You should have said something, guys. All right, so I'm putting a little arrow pointing to, like, the building that you're coming out of. And putting a circle there, so it's a little hard to see, but hopefully you can at least see it there. I'm double drawing the arrow like a million times. Oh God, I messed up.
I don't see the arrow, but I see the circle.
Okay, great.
You're good.
We're doing this great. And you guys step out, and we'll say that you kind of go out around the corner, because you're kind of coming out into like kind of an alleyway of sorts, and you go around the corner, kind of out into the city proper. The city is very, it's not completely clean. I mean, there's some dirt here and there, but it's not a dirty city. It's not an overly dirty city, at least. As you guys step out, you'll see that, like, to your left and to your right, there are these kind of gleaming metal walls. I mean, they're not to your immediate. There's a lot of space. But, like, you guys looking at the map as players, like, all of those spokes in the city, we'll call them, are, like... They're metal, but it's intricately patterned, and you can like see through it because of the different patterns that kind of cut in and out of it. It's meant for more, not really like sectioning. I mean, might be sectioning off parts that you guys don't know since you haven't explored, but it looks very decorative. And then it has like the little the cutouts for the roads that kind of go around the city in different circles. As you go out your door, let me pull out my stuff here. Yeah, and as you look at the map, you do see, even though it's not on the map that I'm sharing out to you guys, but the map that you got from Ellie, the little girl, does have a list of shops there. Along with places in the town where you can find them. There is Tiffany's Art and Glass, Lindbergh's Adventuring Shop, Lucky Herbs, Fannel's, Young Ruth's Candy Shop, Gatsby's Flower Shop. There's also Coco's. And Folgers. There's a couple different Folgers. Sorry, there's different Folgers. That's it. There's a couple different Folgers. Kind of about 3 different ones stationed in different parts of the city. And then there's also a couple places marked for hotel staying and taverns. You have the Grand Imperial, which is a hotel. You also have the Bristol, which is a hotel. Taverns include the auction house and the back room. And then also the Engine is marked on there as well, that they were telling you about.
Going to the Engine.
I'm going to the flower shop. Let's just go. It's just...
All right. So are you guys like breaking up, or are you guys going to have a
Totally.
conversation about where you're going?
I was.
I'm going to the
intending
Engine. If
on
someone's coming with me,
breaking
okay,
off.
but not bye.
It's not our way to stick together, okay?
Yeah.
I mean, it's
this.
we're gonna do that thing.
Fine.
We're doing that thing where we all break up to
I'm
go to our
trying
own
to
places,
change
and then
this.
we all just still kind of go the same direction awkwardly.
We're gonna break stuff.
Well, we'll catch you all a bit later today.
You guys have out.
Okay.
Gonna start
We'll
walking
get
to see if
up
Ren
and
and Renarius are still up or coming with me.
I'll follow after him.
What
Sure, I'll
shops
go with
were
Kazoo.
next to Gatsby's flower shop?
Well, I mean, you had Young Ruth's is close, which is the candy shop. That was marked close, as well as Coco's.
I'm just going on my own.
Did that? Am I speaking English? I'm not sure.
No. I was kind of like I was asking that more for like, everyone was kind of going together, like towards if someone else was going to the shops around, but I'm just
Yeah,
I'm just
they're located
walking in a
kind
different
of-
direction.
Whereas, like, this seems to have like maybe a cluster of 3 different shops together, and then it will have a cluster of another 3 different shops together a few streets down. Yeah, as you're walking down the streets, before we go to you individually, as you're walking down the streets, this oh my gosh, I'm pulling out my reference photo so I can get a feel for this. There's a lot of sharp edges in the city's design. There are some taller buildings, like the building you came out of, if you look back at it, is a taller building with these kind of like sharp edges, some almost like maybe metal accents in the cobblestone. And there's maybe a few other taller buildings like that, but what you notice the most is that in the center of the city, which you can see from the map that that you guys were looking at, and you're looking at on Fantasy Grounds, is the tall building in the center. And as you see it kind of from the distance that you are from it, just maybe God, I'm so bad at this. A football field or 2? I don't know. That's a big difference, but whatever. You
What's 100 yards?
as
Or 200
players,
yards.
as me telling you as players, you players would recognize it as almost like an Art Deco feel to the building structures.
Dribble is very
and
familiar with Art Deco.
Even this building that rises in the center is very, again, I said, very angular, very blocky, but with these kind of metallic designs in it that kind of shine in the early sun as it's kind of rising. There's a small wall going around the city, but it's not a very tall wall. But there is, you can't see it from here, but looking at the map, you'd be able to see if there was water going around. Did we drop into a toilet or something? Anyways.
Oh my god.
So, and then as you're walking down the street, as I said, you could probably see that there are different stores. There are, in between stores, there are, there's some little areas of foliage, some trees, some bushes, and then it's another kind of storefront. Everything is very elaborate looking. Even with the kind of blocky edges on the cobblestone buildings or the stone buildings, you see broad windows for for window displays and shops. You see again that kind of metal accenting on the buildings. There are some interesting kind of like tree statues here and there that are a mix of stone and metal. Yeah, and then also in some of the buildings you'll see like griffin accents on the edges. So, going where splitting the party, I guess. All right. So, Gerbil, you were going to the flower shop.
Yes.
Is anyone going with you? Were you going by yourself?
I mean, if
What a
someone wants to
shame.
follow me,
Okay. All right. So does anyone want to go with Gerbil?
I mean, that's kind of what I was.
With Gerbil.
I mean, that's why I was asking, like, what was around it, you know.
Okay.
But
so Gimbal and Tegan are going with Gerbil.
Yep.
You guys walk.
I'll go with you if you come with me.
You guys walk a couple of sections over, coming upon this this area that has, as I said, it has the 3 shops. It has Coco's that has these large kind of window displays with these very elaborate dresses and suits for men in the windows, with kind of a big metal sign that says Coco's above it. The trees and the bushes around this area, and there's like some flower pots, very nicely coordinated. You also have Ruth's Candy Shop there as well. It has some color mixed in with the stonework to make it look a little bit more colorful than the other shops around. And then you also have the flower shop, which, interesting enough, is like almost mostly glass in the front. And as and it has these metal outlines kind of making these interesting circles on the windows. But you can see through and see all kinds of greenery and flowers, as well as a metal sign above that reads Gatsby's.
Well, I guess this is it. I turn around to see who was with me.
What is up with you and flowers anyway? I'm just curious.
Traumatizing childhood, and then just walk in.
Explains a lot.
Oh no, that's not what I wanted to do. Oh gosh. Okay, sorry. I'm just trying to pop out something here. So I'm not like flipping between all of my note pages.
As I turn around to say that to Gimble, that's when I realized Tegan's with us.
I love it.
You need a bell or something.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
I can make one of those.
Pop this up here, and so I can look at my stuff down here. All right. So you're going in, correct?
Yes.
Wonderful. So as you two walk into the establishment, going through the glass door with that same kind of metal inlay that makes these interesting designs on top of the glass, as soon as you step in, you feel this kind of humidity that comes with almost like greenhouses. The air feels very wet and heavy, but also a little chilly, kind of. There are, you walk in and there are all kinds of greenery and flowers around, all kind of in these short rows that lead up to this beautiful stone counter that has a gnome woman standing behind it with black hair pulled up into a bun. And she's wearing a very colorful dress that has almost like flowers embroidered into the fabric. She's kind of looking down at something, working books or.
I'm gonna kind of like give a quick glance over everything and see if I spot the sunflower I'm looking for.
Yeah, make an investigation check.
Oh, come on, Joel. Come on. Ooh. 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 4.
Okay, all right. You look around and, you're looking, kind of glancing up these aisles as you're walking in and towards the counter, and you don't see any sunflowers. You see all different kinds of flowers, but it's kind of like the air in this shop, and as well as all of the flowers and the scents hitting you, kind of overwhelms your senses momentarily.
Too much color. Oh. I'll go up to the gnome and just kind of clear my throat.
She has her glasses kind of at her nose. Oh. Welcome to Gatsby's. I'm Gatsby. How can I help you? Are you looking
yes.
for a specific flower?
Yes. I'm looking for a sunflower, or rather, I'm looking for where a certain sunflower came from. I've heard tell of a field that seems to be just filled with a special kind of sunflower that's more golden than yellow.
A field of sunflowers sounds lovely. Let me show you the sunflowers that we have and maybe it'll be what you're looking for. She will kind of hop down from the stand that she was obviously like standing on behind the counter and kind of hurry out around the edge of the counter. Kind of like most of her disappearing as she does so until she comes out the other side. Please follow me. And takes you to like 3 aisles down to the right. Takes you down at the, she's kind of looking, no. Here you go. And as she gestures, they do seem like sunflowers. You can roll an intelligence check to see if, or roll a wisdom check since you're more remembering.
Okay. With advantage?
Oh, yeah, actually, yes. Since this is a special memory.
19.
Look at you. What was the dropped roll?
A 3.
Oh, dribble. Okay. This is definitely it. Are these the sunflowers that you're looking for? How many can I wrap up for you?
Yeah, I'll take a few of them.
Oh.
Maybe like 3.
A few as in 6?
Sure. 6 is
Okay.
fine. But it's to be honest, I'm more curious of where they came from rather than the flower themselves. It's the location I'm trying to find.
Oh, the location that these sunflowers came from.
Yes.
Oh, I have people that gather them from the west. Well, I did have someone. They've recently decided that they wanted to make jewelry instead. Can you imagine?
Oh.
It's so strange.
Do
Children these days.
Oh, it's a child picked these flowers for you.
No. I'm sorry. I'm quite distinguished myself. No, I mean it was a teenager. They would go to different places and get flowers for me, and this was a special spot. Elven girl.
You haven't seen her recently, or know where I might find her.
I mean, what? Do you know her?
No, I really need to find this field.
Oh, well, I can show you on a map where, in the direction that they go, where I think that they go. Yeah, it's somewhere between two mountains. There were two rivers there. I don't know. The girl I had would go on about this area and about how magical it was. And I mean, the sunflowers are beautiful. You see that?
Yeah, yes.
We have beautiful 6 sunflowers here. Follow me to the desk. And she'll kind of scurry up.
Follow.
And take them up behind the counter and start wrapping them in some tissue paper for you.
So, right.
Oh, yes. Let me, that will be, 5 silver.
Okay. Let me check my...
Stephanie remembers that she needs to pull up some things. Some things.
I'll give her 8 silvers.
Oh, well, that's very kind of you. Not asked for, but I appreciate it nonetheless. Oh, right. Let me, and she'll start, like, digging under the counter and pulling out things, and pulls out a map and kind of spreads it out before you. And you would recognize, this is, the Osbergen continent. And she would, let me see if I can pull it up. Stephanie needs to zoom in on this. Okay. Oh yeah, this isn't really going to help you at all. I'm just going to tell you, well, because I haven't marked like where Relask is on this world map yet for you guys. I mean, I have a map that hasn't marked, but you guys do not. So
here's a map with all the bad guys.
So she points to almost directly west of Relask, Gerbil.
Mm-hmm.
And you do see where they're not close, they're not extremely close, but there is a mountain range. There's another mountain range with a valley in between, and there are 2 rivers that meet in that area, which would make a wisdom check for me, please.
15.
This is definitely something that I don't know if you remember as writing it in your backstory, but this is something that you remember. Yes. We'll leave it at that.
Okay.
And you can almost kind of it brings to mind several, memories along with it.
Right. Thank you. Thank you so much for these beautiful flowers.
Are you going out to the field? Are you heading out that way?
Yes, eventually, yes.
Would you
plan
want to collect some flowers for me and make some money? I can give you this bag. I have these bags that keep things cold, and I can give you one. And if you'll just collect some sunflowers for me and bring them back here, I could pay you some money for them. We'll say, since it's usually a silver piece per sunflower, we'll say that I will pay you 50 silver for each sunflower. Or I tell you what, let's just make it a gold.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Oh, wonderful.
Say yes.
Wonderful.
I already said okay.
Let me just give me one moment.
Be more enthusiastic.
She kind of scurries through this like
the most side quest.
Behind
Collect flowers.
This one was pushed on you, then
behind the main counter, like there's it's almost a wall of like wall plants that are growing out of the wall in these little holders. There's a door there, metal door that is as elaborate as everything else here. She goes through and is gone for a couple of seconds and comes back out with this formed leather pouch. It's not flat like like other bags, satchels that you're used to seeing. It does have a little form to it. And she sits it on the counter. Here, it's shaped so that way you can set the flowers in, but it holds up to I think 100 pounds, which shouldn't be a problem.
It's a lot of
It'll keep things
flowers.
cold for you. And as
Ah.
she like slides it across, I mean, it's not that long of a counter. She kind of puts on the counter, and you put your hand on it, Gerbil, to take it. It does seem chill to the touch.
It's like one of those like York peppermint patty commercials, like.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And so you can add, and so to your inventory, you have a bag of colding.
Woo!
Yes. That's so clever.
So, yes, so bring those back. Oh, here, and she'll kind of like brush off her hands, like, of flowers and, pollen, and sticks it out. So, I'm Mrs. Gatsby. And what's your name?
You should, Gerbil.
It's a deal
Gerbil.
then, Gerbil. Bring me back some sunflowers, and I will be a happy clam because they're good sellers. People love to look at them.
Do we need to sign like a blood contract or something?
Oh, a blood contract? That's silly. No, I think the handshake is good.
Okay. Phew.
And plus, my dear belated husband made all kinds of those bags, so we have a bunch of them in the back. But so please.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much.
Me to bring you back a giant bag of them too?
No.
I think one's enough.
Yes, I agree. Also, just before I leave, if you could, do you know the name of the girl who used to bring you flowers? It's come to my attention. I might know them.
Her name was Rolinda.
Rolinda? Do you happen to know her clan name?
Oh no, I'm sorry. I mean, she
That's
might have told me at one time, but this memory isn't what it used to be.
Right. When was the last time you saw her? I don't mean to be so nosy. I'm just curious.
Well, I do want to keep, I mean, I know I complained about her, but she's a good girl. And she's just following her dreams. So I don't really know exactly where she went to, no.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you, Gerbil. Have a wonderful day. And here's your flowers. And she has them wrapped in tissue paper that has a little bit of gold trim, and hands it over to you.
Thank you.
If you put them in the bag of colding, they'll stay fresher longer.
Oh, right.
Yeah, as you open the flap, a burst of cold air hits you in the face, Gerbil. But as you put them in, they kind of fall in. But if you kind of reach in there to you can if you reach in there gingerly, you can feel the petals. So
Thank you again, and I hopefully I'll see you soon with.
Oh sure.
The flowers.
Are you invited to the gala tonight?
There's a. No, I did not know there was.
Oh, well,
just.
You need an invitation. I have a standing one because I supply the best flowers in town. Well, the only flowers. So I have an invitation. But if you find yourself with an invitation, you should definitely stop by the pool out front.
Sure.
Wonderful.
All right. Thank you.
Ta-ta now. I'm going to get to my work.
Ta-ta. Awkwardly leaves.
All right, so you guys exit the shop. Across the street, you have the candy shop Ruth's, and then you also have Coco's, which has the fancy dresses and 3-piece suits in there.
Hey, Gerbil, I think you'd look good in one of those. Plus, you need something to wear to the gala tonight.
No, I don't. I'm not going to a gala.
What? Of course you are.
No.
She all but invited you.
But all but invited me to go enter into a pool for an invitation. That's not inviting me.
Well, I mean, she has an invitation.
She would have given me the invitation if she didn't want the invitation.
Oh, I'm saying I think she means that she wants to see you there. You should go. Loosen up a little bit. Have some fun.
We haven't even taken a nap yet. It hasn't even been 12 hours. And I'm just like,
All right.
Think of it as a good distraction.
if I enter into the pool, will you be quiet?
I will leave you alone.
Okay, I'll look to see if I see the pool
Unless
for
you
the gala
win,
invitation.
and then you'll get some nice clothes and go.
Well, if you're looking around in this spot, no. If you are looking at your map, it's a little hard to tell on the map that I drew, but if you're looking at your map as Gerbil, you'd be able to tell that there is almost like where the main gates are, which you'd be able to tell on the map. That kind of have a main road leading to that taller tower in the center of the city. There is like the only kind of pool that you would see is that there's a strip of almost like a water pond there, kind of in that main street leading from the main gates to the main tower. You're about probably
it's a real pool. It's not like a raffle pool. Oh, my bad.
You're probably a couple of sections away from it, so you would probably it would take you probably about 20-25 minutes to walk over there.
I don't know. That's a long walk, Gerbil. I'm kind of tired. A lot's happened.
All right. Well, you guys decide. Sorry, Tegan. Oh, you're muted, Tegan.
Sorry, I forgot. He wants to just jump in the candy shop real quick.
Okay. All right. Well, as you approach this candy shop, as I said, there's some color mixed in with the stone, so it looks definitely more colorful than the other buildings around it, although not quite as fancy. But it does have the same kind of metal lettering above that gives the name of the store, which was, I know there was Ruth in the name. Let me just double check. Young Ruth's Candy Shop. And there are some like window displays with all kinds of candy and confectionery kind of filling the window. And also there are two, what you as a player would almost think were cherry blossom trees, these pink blossom trees sitting on either side of the entrance in planters. All right, so if you head in, all kinds, as you step in, wall to wall, there's like an island filled with like containers of candy. And pretty much looking at it, anything that you could probably want.
Okay, I will go to the counter and simply ask that I'm looking for a nice assortment pack. Maybe
there was no one at the counter, but there's a bell.
Oh, I shall ring the bell.
Did me and Gibble notice Tegan go to the candy shop?
Were you trying to be stealthy, Tegan?
No, in fact, I probably would have just nodded to them and told them that I'm going
then
to
you
the
guys
candy
would have known that he went in there. As you ring the bell, it's a second, then 2 seconds, Tegan, and this elven, very young, elves hide their age very, very well, and they live for a long time, but this is definitely a very young elf, female, with brightly colored hair, obviously, probably not natural. It's like this bright pink color. She's wearing this very colorful dress that has, but also this like black duster that reaches the floor that has these feathers in it, and she's definitely painted her face up with different colors as well. Oh, hi. Can I help you?
Good morning. Yes, lovely shop.
Thank you.
Just was looking for a nice, it's so tough to choose. Do you have like an assortment pack of like a sampler of most of your popular
Oh, well, I mean, we
candies?
don't have one. Oh, wait, let me take a look. She will go over to one of the shelves that has these boxes, just lined gold and silver boxes going down the shelf. She'll kind of take one out and oh, this one. She'll bring it over and kind of snap a couple of like a seal on the edge of the box so she can open it. And as she opens it up, there are all kinds of little chocolates and taffies all in there. This is a good assortment of some of our better quality candies. Would be great for, a wife, a girlfriend, boyfriend.
I was thinking something more like to put out at a party or something like that, like for maybe a dozen people or so.
Oh, so you're wanting a larger assortment.
Yes.
Got you. Well, we can definitely build one for you. I can go around, get about five varieties or 10 varieties of candy and fill enough for 12 people.
Great. How much would that cost? Just before I send you running around the shop getting this
Oh, sure. And she brings, she kind of brings out this folder, opens it up, and kind of looks up at you as she like scrolls down with her finger. Well, I would say for 12 people, that's quite a bit. I would say 5 gold.
Okay, let's do the 6-person sampler.
All right. Then I tell you what, we'll make it 2 gold.
Done.
You seem
Deal.
like a nice person.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
So, same there. Same to you.
I will just give me a moment and I'll go around, and so she'll kind of flutter around the room and masterfully pulling up these the doors on these boxes that are lining the walls, and bringing out some with some tongs and dropping them in the bag. So, are you new to Relask? And she'll hand the bag over to you and put out her hand to get the money.
I will give her 3 gold. Let me just note that.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your hospitality.
Are you finding the city well?
Yes, just arrived. Just taking it in. We were just at the flower shop.
Oh yes, Gatsby's. She's a doll.
She said something of a gala. What's the gala for?
Oh, the gala. Well, you had to have an invitation.
That's what I've heard.
It happens out front by the pool. All of the best of Relask go there. But if you don't have an invitation, on the main floor of the tower in town, and you would kind of assume that would be that large tower in the center of the city, on the main floor they have a midnight buffet that is open to the people who cannot be in the gala.
Okay, that sounds wonderful. Thank you very much. What are the city celebrating in the gala?
Oh, it happens every night.
Every night you have a gala?
Oh yes. That's
wonderful.
One beautiful thing about Relask. Every day's a celebration.
Wow, that is a wonderful thing.
Yes, isn't it? I'm glad that you're here. I'm going to get to some things in the back, but enjoy your stay. Hopefully I'll see you.
Thank you very much. Maybe I'll see you at the gala.
Oh. And that was kind of like an "aren't you cute" remark. And then
okay. Snub registered. Okay.
All right.
And I thank you very much, and I will leave. Regret giving her a gold tip. But anyway. And I'll hand the box to Gerbil to put in his chilled bag until we get back to the house. If you don't mind, Gerbil. I don't know if you wanted to go out and pick flowers right away, but I bought these for the children.
You're muted, Gerbil. If you said anything, you're muted.
Gerbil doesn't say anything. He just
Okay.
mouths. No. Yeah, he'll
He's having a stroke.
He'll kind of just eye and then just put it in. And now, a bag of holding, is it like a bag of holding, like just, or do I have to like actually make sure it's not like gonna destroy the flowers?
No, I mean it has the shape it has. Like you notice when you put, yeah. I mean you would, I mean you could drop it in if you want to, or you could gingerly place it in.
I'll see his hesitation and take the candies back.
No. I'm just trying to figure out how the bag of holding works. I don't want to curse the flowers. So
okay. Did you drop it in, or did you gingerly place it in?
I will gingerly place it in.
Okay. All right.
Is it gonna blow up? Is like putting like a bag of holding in a bag of holding?
No, I was just asking how you wanted to put it in, Gerbil.
Okay.
Good night, everyone.
Your restraint is remarkable.
Done.
All right. So, heading over to the other Renarius, what are you doing? Who are
I
you
was
with?
following Kazeel.
Kazeel. So Kazeel, Ren, and Renarius. Kazeel, where are you taking the fellows to?
Oh, just a walk around town.
Silvra, who are you with?
They're the fellas.
Did you go off by yourself, Silvra, or did you follow Kazeel?
Oh no, I'm going somewhere completely different.
Okay. All right, I will get to you in a second. Where are you going, Kazeel?
Ultimately, I want to get to that tinkering shop, but mostly it's about the walk and the areas around.
About the what?
The walk.
The walk?
So
you're
yeah,
just
the
walking?
journey over there.
Oh,
yeah, I mean,
okay.
I want to head there, but
Right.
most of my intent, Kazeel's intention, is to talk with the two of them.
Did you want to roleplay any of that conversation out?
Yeah, if that's
okay.
all right.
Yeah.
I'll probably comment on Ren's wolf fur. That's a fine creature you have there, your new friend.
Yeah, she's been pretty good.
That's wonderful. She came in. I'm glad to see that she made it through, the trouble we had yesterday.
I know. She didn't look great. It would have been more sad if she just didn't even make it through a first fight.
Right.
She held her own.
Right. Yeah, a fine companion. And I'll look at our NPC guest too, just to see what is she currently doing. Is she still seem kind of spaced out? I guess is what I'm looking for.
Oh yes, thank you for reminding me that she's with you. Yes, Ingrid is just walking. She is staying a few steps behind you.
Mm-hmm.
But she is keeping pace with you, and if you stop, she stops. Just not like right beside of you. She always keeps at least like 5 feet in between, maybe 3 feet.
Okay. I'll turn to Renarius. Lad, is there anywhere in this fine city that you'd like to go? Anything sparks your interest?
Not really. I'd like to explore, sure, but I'd also like some sleep. That would be good.
Hint.
Right.
It's been a long night. Kaziel, I wanted to thank you. You see that my nervousness, my emotions can get the best of me sometimes, but you're always there to reassure me, and I wanted to thank you for backing me up.
Of course, lad. That's
it doesn't go unnoticed.
Well, that's very kind of you. Don't you worry. The emotions get the best of all of us. I think we're all feeling quite a bit of that right now. Kind of look around at everyone. I'd like to just add that And this goes for everyone here and back there. I'm sure it's going to take us quite a bit of time to get to process everything, but sorry, you're the wrong earbud apparently. But it's sad. It's terrible what's happened, but I need you all to hear it from someone that was there, that there wasn't anything we could have done differently. We went in there with the right minds and the right motivations. What happened was just terribly sad, but beyond this. So, and I'm sorry, lad, looking back at Renarius. Firstly, for your loss, and secondly, I feel a bit guilty that perhaps had we gotten there sooner, had I thought about it a little bit longer, we could have headed there sooner and perhaps saved Regina. And for that, I'm truly sorry.
Maybe you're right. Maybe we could have. Maybe we couldn't have. I saw her in a vision not too long ago, and we talked, and we're at peace. But now I need to, as we all need to, find out what's next. Life's not the same for me. I can't go back to Fairweather. I can't go back to Bairn if it doesn't exist. I need to find my place now, and at least I'm with friends now.
Must be nice. Closure.
Closure is nice. I'll always wonder what more I could have done, but in the end, it's a futile process.
Inge, where do you come from? Where are you from? Do you have people to return to?
I had Greelick. That's who I had.
Do you think that
was Inge awake when the whole thing happened?
She was a little conscious because Greelick kissed her goodbye.
Okay.
Right. I mean, we're probably not allowed anywhere around Ben for a bit, but I mean, she was with a group of mages and she seemed mighty formidable herself. Do you think they could have used some of that traveling magic to get out of there safe, perhaps? And is there anything we can do to help maybe take a look? Or keep an ear out, or whatever we can do to...
I think you've done enough.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, if you ever change your mind and we're around, I can speak for myself at least. I'd like to help you find your closure, or hopefully something more pleasant than that.
Got it.
Well, I wouldn't have said this, I wouldn't have believed it, even just a few weeks ago when I first met y'all, but I've always been a bit of a loner, but I do feel a certain kinship with y'all. And there's some good in that, certainly, and some worry as well. But after going through this together, I do feel closer with y'all.
Mm-hmm.
And I thank you.
Shared trauma has that effect on people.
If you would have asked me where I'd end up after I left Mossvale, this is not where I would have guessed, but definitely traveling with fellow friends is better than going on my own as I did.
Then might I ask? I know the lad was looking for his teacher, and that's what set him out on this path. What, just to get to know you a bit better, what is it that set you out on this adventuring path? You've been on it for a while before you met us. Or,
not much, not a lot before that. I had come to Bairn. I pretty much left and come straight to Bairn and was there for a little bit until other guy's name found me and signed me up, and I met you guys. But I want to be a ranger. I want to see the world. I want to. My family's kind of just been in Mossvale for generations, and I wanted to kind of break out of that and
sure.
And there's a friend I am trying to maybe find, but that's on the side, not my biggest focus, but part of my adventure. If I find her along the way, it will be a added bonus.
All right. What's the name, if you don't mind me asking? Perhaps I can, I hate to run into someone that you run into them and you're not around and not even know.
Yeah, her name was Magdalene.
Oh, hey. Well, but let's make sure we keep an eye. Do you have any idea where she might be or where she was last?
No, the last I saw her, she was in the woods around my town, and I had grown up a bit with her and known her, and one day she just wasn't there anymore.
Oh no.
I haven't been able to figure out why, so it's kind of more just see if she's moved or.
Right. I hope it's something like that. Maybe circumstances kept her from letting you know. But
yeah,
certainly, I'm here in case ever you need a hand with that.
Well, thanks. I appreciate it. I'm new to this whole adventuring thing, so all the help is needed.
Right. I can safely say I've been doing a fair bit of it for quite a while, but not with others. It's a different thing altogether.
Yeah.
But I think we're a good crew. I'm no master of tinkering like Kimball is, but I do, tinkering a bit myself. I'm heading to the shop here as well. So if you ever have any small needs that I might be able to work on, any day-to-day things you're looking for that might make life easier for you, let me know. I like being productive with my practice.
Deal.
Fresh air is nice though, isn't it, lads?
Mm-hmm.
And as you guys continue walking, you come across, can't remember from looking at the map back at the charity house. I don't know who took the map with them. You guys only had one. But there's that main road that leads from the gate to the main tower, and you guys come upon that, and there's this long cement walled in steel pool that kind of runs almost the length of from the gate to the main tower. Right now it has children and different people and of different races sitting at on the edges, and there are a couple of children waiting in the steel pool. It's not that it's not that deep, although it does come up about mid-thigh, but they've rolled up their pants or are kind of holding up their skirts, and there are just people kind of hanging out in this area. Directly across from this, as you guys kind of go look from the pool and look up, you can't miss it. It's this huge storefront that's, gosh, about maybe 20 feet, 22 feet high, that is mostly metal on the front, and it has all of these different huge metal gears that are kind of turning in with each other. There are even a couple that are sticking out. And there's this kind of hanging sign that says the engine. And there's also a couple places where there's, you would hope would be simulated steam kind of coming out.
Nice.
I mean, it's almost like, as players, like something you would see like in Disney World. Like it's
Nice.
very elaborate and completely, not necessary, but there it is.
Well, that's a storefront. Wow.
Really catches the eye.
I can't even miss that. I don't know if you're all interested in coming in with me and watching me run around like a kid in a candy shop, but that's what I'll be doing.
Sure.
I'll probably just sit down on this bench over here.
Okay. You want to sit down on the bench or by the pool? The pool is just a few, or like on the edge of the pool, I mean.
Sure, yeah, the edge of the pool.
Okay, all right.
Can I take a super quick second? I'm so sorry.
No,
I just thought of
absolutely.
something. And what's our NPC friend's name again?
Ingot.
Ingot, right? How on earth did I forget that? Okay. I'm gonna pause before going in and just sort of walk over a little bit to her, or at least face her for a minute, and just say, I know that you feel, and rightfully so, we've certainly done enough, but I do have a couple of connections, and I think that I might at least be able to get you an answer as to whether this person, your significant other, lives, or and where they are, if they do, or if they've perished. Again, I'll respect your answer. I just want you to know that I do have a fairly influential contact, as their fingers are a little with everything, might be able to help get an answer.
Got it. And she's going to kind of step back and sit down on the edge of the pool as well. Not beside Ren, but a few feet away.
I'm going into this amazing store.
All right. So you guys are heading in the store. Since it's getting about 12:50, I was going to check with Silvra. But I think that she's handling children. We'll just kind of tease that as you guys go in. The two of you enter through these double doors, and as you walk in, it is just filled with this kind of yellowish gold light and this constant kind of whirring of gears, and there are gears that mimic what was on the outside storefront, kind of on the ceiling, working in and out of each other. There are a few sections of different things. There are like a whole wall of drawers that has a sign above them that says like Sprigs and Sprockets. There is a section off to the right that has these metal cages hanging from the ceiling that you can't really tell what's in them. But you do hear this weird kind of bird-like melody, but it doesn't sound like any bird you've ever heard. Almost like a bird coming out of a music box.
Okay, I'll be like.
And as you guys take that all in, we're going to check in with Silvra. Silvra, what are you up to?
She's just like, okay. Everybody's gone. They all just took off without me. For once, I'm not the one taking off and separating the group.
I know.
So
How does it feel?
Gross, guys. Gross.
That's awesome.
It's not my fault this time.
But I purposely checked to see what was around the flower shop to see if anyone wanted to go to the. Sorry.
Wow. I'm gonna make a note of that and like not say anything right now. I'll just skip over that. Is there
Melissa will remember that.
Yes, Melissa will remember that. Y'all are traitors. A blacksmith type shop? Was it
You do remember from the map there was a place called Fannels that had kind of a subcategory under it of clothing and armor.
She'll head that way.
Okay. All right. It's only like a section over. It's not too far from the building of the charity house. Yeah, and as you approach, I would say there are probably a couple of other places there. There's Lucky Herbs, which isn't a very elaborate front, but has some people kind of hanging out in the front area, as well as someone playing the drums sitting on the corner. There is also Lindbergh's Adventuring Shop in that area as well. Looks like a general store, but has some like fishing rods and stuff kind of on the front facade. And then you see Fannels, which has a very interesting wooden exterior with a couple of windows, but just very plain looking with that kind of metallic letters that you're used to seeing that says Fannels above. Going in, it's a very interesting mix. The store almost is split in two right down the middle. To the right, you have some clothing, but not fancy dresses and things like I explained with the other store, but more just traveling clothes, pants, boots, shirts, button-up shirts. To the left, you have more of your armor, leathers. And then as you venture towards the counter area, there are also a lot of different things, like it looks like for clothes making. You have spools of cloth on the clothing side. You have these like a whole wall of or a small section of drawers on the wall that say buttons above it. All kinds of different things here. Behind the counter is a human man, but he's very, very aged. Is wearing a these very small glasses that's on the edge of his nose. Oh, can I help you?
Hi.
What are you looking for today, dearie? We got a lot. We got stuff to make clothes. We have armor.
Oh, I see. Do you have any leftover scraps and stuff that you just don't use that I could use?
Oh. Looking for something free?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you new to the city? Are you visiting?
Visiting.
What have you been doing?
Visiting.
How long you been here?
She's just like really uncomfortable right now.
As with each question, he like leans just a little bit forward. Glasses fall a little bit closer, Of course, you still have a counter in between the two of you, but he's not like in your face. But
do you mind?
Oh, I mean, you're asking for free scraps. I'm just getting a feel for you. Just, understanding who I'm giving free stuff for. Too. Something.
But it's for my disguise kit.
Oh, you like disguising, huh? Sorry.
I freaking love this NPC.
You like dressing up. Have you been to the gala in town? There's a gala that all kinds of people dress up. You guys, I'm breaking my own character so bad.
No, it's awesome. I love it so
Oh,
much.
you're a cosplayer, are you?
You like? Have you been to the gala? There's all kinds of people dressing up at the gala. Fancy types.
Ooh. It's a party?
Yeah, but you need an invitation.
Wait, does it? Oh, I don't have one that I know of.
Oh, that's a shame. That's a real shame.
Says the person who's probably invited. Okay, do you have any?
No, I don't go to those fancy parties. It's too much for me. They have a banquet. There's a banquet in, if you go...
Uh-huh.
Wow, it's late, guys. There's a banquet if you go to the main tower in town. And if you go in there, and it's on the main... Now we're getting some West Virginian in here. If you go in there, it's on the main floor. And, and there's a banquet that's free. You should check it out.
Ooh. That sounds lovely.
Let me go and see what I got in the back, okay? And he kind of holds his back as he turns.
Well, do you want me to?
Oh no, I'm fine.
Okay.
And you'll see him kind of like taking very small steps as he shuffles, through like a back door that squeaks and like, swings open and back a few times. I have something back here. I gotta check. I've had a few orders that I might have some scraps around here. Let's see. It's not in here. Not in this barrel either. Oh gosh dang it. Oh, my foot. I'm fine.
Are you okay?
Oh, okay. He shuffles back out and the door swings after him. And he brings out this like small wooden crate and sets it really heavily down on the counter. You can look through there if you want to. That stuff I was gonna, throw out. Do some, make clothes for mice. I don't do that. I don't do it. But I had a wife that used to make clothes for squirrels. She's gone.
Oh.
No, she didn't. She left me.
Oh,
are you married?
That makes it any better. Wait,
you got a sweetheart?
Do you have? I don't want to talk about that. Do you have any like squirrel outfits?
Oh no, I burned them. I didn't really want to be reminded of Celia and her nonsense. She was. Dan.
Okay, I completely understand that because I'd probably do the same thing, sort of killing them. But
yeah.
Is there? Do you mind if I take all of this?
Oh! I mean, I was gonna throw it away. So I mean, if you want to carry, I mean, I do need the crate. I do. I don't have these just sitting in the back. I made that one myself. And he pats the side, and it like kind of shakes a bit to where like it's not very well made.
Okay.
But if you can take stuff, I haven't put you you got a fancy bag right there. You can put it in there. I think you'll be fine. I just need that bag.
Fancy bag. Yeah, sure. About how much is all the stuff like?
Oh,
how heavy would it?
You're looking at. I mean, I don't really know as far as like pounds go. I mean, it's not too heavy. It's mostly like scraps of cloth. There are some buttons in there. Maybe even some like longer pieces of thread that he had cut.
Yeah. So it could be like stuff I could just toss in my bag and like.
Yeah. You could toss it in your bag.
She'll open her bag,
just
bag, and just kind of.
You need any help? Okay.
Oh, I'm good. Thanks.
All right. Well.
Oh, do you know where I can use an anvil?
Oh, an anvil. Yeah, let me take a let me think here. This is the DM looking at her map. Oh yeah, if you head to the engine, they have a huge anvil there. That's where I usually take all my stuff. I got a small one in the back, but it's or bigger pieces, you know, like the ones up on the wall. I go over to the engine. Have you been there yet?
I have not, but it sounds wonderful. Do you? So I guess the engine would be a place to repair my chainmail. I mean, I kind of is.
What do you needing done?
Just a little repairs on it, maybe a couple of links and stuff, and I kind of been fighting a lot and unintentionally.
I mean, I can do smaller work here. I won't do it for free. But yeah, for that right there, if you pay me a gold piece, I get it done for you.
So, I mean, not sold, but fixed.
Oh, you don't need the work done. If you need it done, I can do it today. I don't know.
Yeah. That's what I'm. Okay.
If you just want to leave it with me, come back tomorrow for it.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Do you need? Are you?
I'll be here. I'll be here tomorrow.
Today.
No.
Okay.
Good.
You don't want to be fighting in the city. I don't know where you're from, but you don't want to be fighting in the city.
No.
Okay, we'll leave it here,
I can take care of it. She'll like start taking it off and like unbuckling your belts and everything, and
his like shaky hands comes out. And I can do it. I know my hands are shaking. That's only because I need to go over to the sweet shop and get some sweets so I can bring down my, I can bring up my sugars just because my sugar's low.
Oh, you like sweets too?
I don't have them here. I have to go and get them at the candy shop like everyone else. There's a candy shop. Have you been to the candy shop?
No.
Young Ruth's is the name. It's wonderful.
Okay. Actually, I think that'll be my next stop. And Silvra does have a shirt on underneath her chainmail, by the way, just to clarify.
Good. You don't want to give the man a heart attack.
No. You would definitely have a heart attack.
Oh.
That would be horrible.
Oh my God.
Here's your gold.
Thank you.
I'll be back in the morning, okay?
I'll have it ready for you.
Oh, what kind of sweets do you like?
Oh, since I got these dentures, and he kind of like takes them and like loose it, I really like the taffies. It gets stuck, but I just chew it. And sometimes I take my teeth out and I just gum it, and it works just as good. Well, if you want to, I'll have this ready for you tomorrow.
Any particular flavor?
Get your candy.
Oh, okay. Bye. Thank you so much.
Wow.
Oh, I'm in love with this NPC.
All right. Okay. So you are picking up that tomorrow, Silvra. That will be ready for you. Yeah. Do I want to do that right now?
No. I want to kill the party right now.
Actually,
the city takes off.
Because you'll make a perception check.
Okay. All right. I don't know what my modifier is. I rolled a 9.
You rolled a 9. Well, it might not be good enough, but we shall see.
Okay.
I think you have maybe 4. Let's see. Double check
4,
here. 5. So 9, 14.
Okay.
Because as you are looking around in this shop, and they're just wide-eyed, and you turn around one of the aisles in here, trying to find your way over, listening and trying to find your way towards that bird song that you heard when you came in. And as you go around an edge of the aisle, you come face to face with someone that looks a lot like yourself, except maybe 20 years older. As you stand there and kind of, the shock of like almost running into this person, first of all. Secondly, that it looks almost like looking into a mirror, except aged and with there's some stubble that's mostly white. There's a lot of white in the hair. And the eyes are this very interesting amber color that seems very familiar to you. You're taking this in, and you kind of see the same shock and almost a bit of almost seems scared, kind of reflecting back to you of the other face. The eyes go wide, and he immediately turns and starts going down the aisle that you would assume that he was coming, that you had met him from. He turns, goes down, like not the aisle that you're in, but the aisle adjacent. And you have an aisle between you, so you can't see him. He's more or less kind of, you would assume, moving towards the exit of the store.
Okay. I'm gonna give a little bit of chase. I'm gonna dash or whatever I need to do.
All right, so you dash towards the door. As you kind of come out from the aisle, you see the door giving a little bit of a swing, like it had just been opened.
Okay.
Do you go outside?
I want to stand in the doorway and kind of check both ways.
There's you go into the doorway. The doorway does have a I keep want to say mirrored or a mirror, but it's a window.
Okay.
There is a window in the door, but you can open it and just kind of look.
I'll open it if I may.
Make a perception check for me.
All right.
Another one.
That's not terrible. 12 plus 5 so 17.
Okay. You don't see anything. I mean, you see people passing, but no one. Like this man had on a very nice suit, with a bow tie. You see people passing about their day, and maybe even see Ren sitting over and Ingot sitting a few feet away over by the pool. But you don't see anyone that. And the feeling of that kind of familiarity is kind of gone.
Okay. I'm just going to say out in a loud voice, almost a yell, come and see me before I leave town on the next day, and we won't have any trouble. I just want to talk.
And that's where we'll end tonight's session.
Okay.
Nice.
All right. Well, Dan, do we have a thing, or?
We do. We have our big giveaway for everyone that did their 500-bit cheers or more. Every time that was done, a new ticket was created. So I'm just going to go in here and take a peek. See, we have. All right. Let's see. Yada is all that. Yep. Okay, this is going to be for. Let me find the wording here so I don't mess that up. Again, for everyone that cheered 500 bits, they got a raffle ticket each time they did that. There were a number of people that had several times over, so they had a number of tickets, and this is for one bust-sized digital character illustration from Steph. Okay, let's do the roll on the back side here. And clickety clack. And our winner tonight for the bust-sized digital character illustration from Steph is Danny Phantom.
Oh, Danny!
Yay! Awesome. And we'll be having this set up for each campaign throughout the week, as well as a bunch of other stuff. So,
yeah, and
Hey,
be
Danny.
sure to if you do the retweets of the tweet for the fundraiser, to put hashtag MadBirdFam. That's FAM, MadBird FAM, as in short for family. Put that with your retweet, and that way we will be counting them at the end of the week, and whoever gets the most retweets will get a special prize. Yeah, and so tune in for the rest of our programming. I'll give you a little rundown. Here on Monday nights, of course, you have The Forsaken at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Tuesdays at 10 p.m. Eastern Time is The Curious Lament, which Dan DMs, which is our all evil campaign. And Wednesday at 10 p.m. Eastern Time is Mad Bird Squawks, which is our D&D therapy session. This week is a special Forsaken episode. So we have Joe, Frank, and Jonathan, right? Yes. I think so. Just want to make sure I didn't get everyone wrong. So those three will be on this week. So send in your questions into the Discord channel. There's a special Mad Bird Squawks channel for you to do that with. For things you'd like to ask some other characters for the campaign. I will probably be in chat as well. So there you go. Thursday at 10 p.m. Eastern Time this week, we are having a special board game session that Victoria will be hosting. Friday at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Well, actually, Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern Time, we're having a new art stream that I will be doing to be a weekly thing probably, but starting this week. So I'll be working on Madbird art, character stuff for the Madbird streams, as well as maybe fan art eventually. And Friday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Time is Stormfall, our after school club. Saturday and Sunday we have a huge schedule available, which I did not download and put up, but check our Discord channel and we'll put it up there for you guys. You can check that out there. We have programming this Saturday and Sunday from 12 p.m. Eastern Time to like 1 a.m. Eastern Time. So all day we have one-shots, board games, jackboxes, our regular programming, and maybe some truth or drink thrown in there late Saturday night. We'll see. But you guys are awesome. We're heading over and raiding Quest and Chaos. So give them some love from the Madbird family. All right, guys. Good night.
Thank you all. Bye. Yes.